being here for our weekly press conference. First, we're going to talk about our new judge appointment, Judge Sarah Green, and we wanted to just highlight and also not just the appointment, but also give her a moment to introduce herself to the community. So the appointment of the City Council actually acts as the appointment board for our municipal judges, and Judge Sarah Green grew up in Vermont, earning a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Political Science from Norwich University back in 2003. She later received her Juris Doctorate from Vermont Law School, graduating cum laude in May of 2006. Afterwards, Judge Green moved to Kansas, where she was admitted to the Kansas Bar in 2006 and started working as an assistant public defender for the Sedgwick County Public Defender's Office. In October 2010, Judge Green started working as a city public defender for the municipal court until July of 2020. After leaving in July of 2020, Judge Green became an instructor at Wichita State University, teaching classes in the School of Criminal Justice. Judge Green started her firm in 2015, where she provided court-appointed attorney services in other municipal courts in Kansas. So we're excited to add her as a judge here in our municipal court. Our judges work every day to ensure that our court rulings are fair and best help to keep the community safe and those appearing before them accountable to the community. So I'm proud to work with another woman in the judiciary here in Wichita. And with that, I would like to invite Judge Green up to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. As was mentioned, I had the privilege to work in the municipal court here in the city of Wichita in the role of court-appointed attorney for many years. And in that time, I had the privilege of seeing judges who worked to administer justice fairly and impartially for my clients. I knew then that I wanted to join the bench one day. I am both humbled and honored to have been selected to fill the vacancy left by the passing of Judge Ted Griffith. The transition from private practice and teaching at WSU to the bench back in City of Wichita Municipal Court seems like a natural one. Here in Municipal Court, I'm working with the same judges I appeared in front of for many years, with excellent staff in the Municipal Court as well. And in my new role, I plan to seek to administer justice tempered with mercy, with the goal of community safety in mind. Thank you.
All right, we're glad to have you, Judge Green, and frankly, it's interesting to have another person from New England here work for the city. As folks know, I grew up in New Hampshire. Vermont's our neighbor, and it was great after the interview to have a little bit of time and kind of joke around about maple syrup and other New England stuff that, frankly, we don't get a lot of out here. So welcome, and we're glad to have you. So next thing we're going to talk about is the United We. So today we also have joining us the United Women's Empowerment Organization, or United We. They work to advance women's economic and civic leadership throughout our state. So we have Wendy Doyle, who's the president and CEO, who I have got to know over the last few months via Zoom. So it's good to get to see you finally in person. So I had the pleasure of talking with her and her team a few weeks back about amazing initiatives called the Kansas Veterans and First Responders Grant Program. So Ms. Doyle is going to come up and tell us just a little more about that program and about what their organization does.
Thank you, Mayor Whipple, and thank you for your leadership and service. I'm honored to be here today to talk about a topic near and dear to my heart, supporting our nation's veterans. I stepped into my current role as president and CEO at United We just as the military added women to active combat duty. 20 years ago, following the attacks on September 11th, first responders and frontline workers faced the burden of the destruction, impact, and recovery efforts. We've now seen many of these heroes face a new threat with the widespread devastation of COVID-19. As our nation continues to face new challenges, we have seen the bravery of our frontline healthcare workers, emergency responders, hospital staff, and countless others. I want to express my deep gratitude for their sacrifice, grace, and courage. At United We, our work includes a deliberate effort to acknowledge the struggles of frontline veteran and survivor families. We know that our work can't replace the grief felt by families impacted by events like September 11th or COVID-19, but we do know that policies and programs can help share the burden. One key piece of our work is focused on education. We've supported legislation and expansions that provide the opportunity to pursue higher education without the burden of tuition or debt. To the children and spouses of veterans or first responders who lost their life or were injured in the line of duty. We are proud of the progress we have made in Kansas to acknowledge the service members who put their lives on the line and their families who make great sacrifices from home. Specifically, Governor Kelly just signed a few weeks ago House Bill 2021 into law. This important legislation waives education tuition and fees for the spouses and children of public safety officers and personnel who are injured or disabled while performing service-related duties. This law allows for up to $350,000 to be awarded per year. This expansion of educational opportunity greatly benefits Kansas military and first responder families. This is a vital step in the right direction to support the dignity and livelihood of survivors and families of our state's heroes. A call to action: we need more creative and innovative solutions that reflects the ongoing commitment in Kansas to our military families, higher education, and workforce development opportunities. Getting the word out about this is extremely important for families to access the resources they deserve. Information about how to apply for this education benefit will soon be available on the Kansas Board of Regents website, which is kansasregents.org. In closing, we must anticipate there will be future challenges impacting our nation and the families of those who put their lives in the line to defend our country. These families deserve more than our thanks. They deserve our wholehearted support. Please join me in supporting the women and men who serve our country. Their bravery, compassion, and dedication are what make us proud to be American and Kansans. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Wendy, and thank you to United We for all that you do for our communities, especially during this last year and a half with the ongoing pandemic. So next thing we're going to talk about is some really good news. Wichita continues to rise in the ranks of cities performing well in growth and recovery. We recently moved up 86 spots from the 64th best performing city for growth. We also are in the top 15 metro areas for growth in our digital services. So here to tell us more about this is our Assistant City Manager, Scott Rigby.
Thanks, Mayor. It is exciting times to be here in Wichita. As the Mayor said, over the last 6-12 months, we received quite a few accomplishments here recognized by the media and from publications, one being the Milken Institute, where from 2020 to 2021, we moved from 150th place as far as cities to the 64th place of best performing cities in the nation for economy recovery. That's 86 spaces jump here. And then recently, Brookings just announced the top 15 ranking for Wichita for experiencing growth in digital technologies. Just in the past year, we've had announcements of, if you remember, Nova Coast and Millennium, both cybersecurity companies that have announced coming to Wichita. These are net new companies coming to Wichita, and what they're finding is a great STEM basis of education, not just at our K through 12 schools, but also schools like WSU, Kansas University, and Kansas State, and Pittsburgh State, and other universities that are providing that great workforce to these companies who see an opportunity to come to Wichita, not battle the high prices of rent and congestion in other larger cities, but coming here and being truly embraced by the community. So we're excited that they're doing this. The time is now that we continue to push the pedal down and continue to push forward with continued investments in our educational communities, as well as what the city can do and our partners at Greater Wichita Partnership and the Department of Commerce can do to support continued technical growth. And oftentimes people think, well, do I have to go in just to cybersecurity or work for some company like a NetApp? And those are excellent opportunities, but what we would also say is with an advanced manufacturing economy Companies like Cargill, Coke, Textron, Spirit, and many others also have tremendous needs for those tech-minded people. So the economy is growing and getting stronger here. We're excited for that. They're excited about our quality of life. We've hosted many of the companies here just recently in this past summer at the stadium to highlight their commitment to Wichita and our commitment to show to them that their workforce will be taken care of as far as quality of life and quality of place. So with that, Mayor, we're excited to work with you and others to continue to push the community forward. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Scott. And I just want to give Scott a compliment for his hard work in not only helping us with strategies to diversify our economy, but working with me, getting out there, actually getting on the floor, some of these advanced manufacturing businesses, getting in front of our business community, our leaders, and asking them really what can we be doing as a city to help with growth and diversification so that we can continue not just to grow our economy, but to diversify our economy so that we can weather upcoming unforeseen economic turbulence just a little better. So with that, we're open up to questions. We, of course, have our folks here who can answer questions, and I'll always answer any question in which I have the answer to.
What are some of, I recently traveled to Kansas City and I saw some advertisings for the city of Wichita running, like commercials running on TV. What are some of those efforts that you guys are doing to let America know about Wichita and the opportunities here, and how far are you guys reaching out? Is it just like the nearby bigger cities, or are you guys going to East Coast, West Coast?
So we have I'm going to turn it over to Megan, who can give you more details with this, but we have a multi-layered approach that utilizes not just what we're doing as a city, but also community partners. And Megan can expand on that because she just motioned to me that she wanted to answer this one.
Through our tourism board, Visit Wichita, reach out to them, they can give you demographics for our outreach efforts.
And for those who didn't hear that, Visit Wichita, which is our tourism board, is one of the main drivers for some of that. We do know that the partnership and also Wichita State University are utilize their own targeting when it comes to promoting Wichita as well. You got anything, Scott? Sure. I know you got Scott jump forward, so maybe more well-rounded answer. Here you go.
Mayor, just in addition to the Visit Wichita effort to get the word out for tourism opportunities, we do partner with the State Department of Commerce, with Greater Wichita Partnership and the Chamber. We actually put out advertisements nationwide about Wichita, and advertisements to specific groups such as site selectors, to business leaders to say, have you thought about Wichita? So I'll give you a great example. We recently had a company announce they're coming, and they're here now in Wichita. They're a tech company. They were thinking about opening up new locations. They didn't even have Wichita on their radar. We reached out to them through our partnership with the state and Greater Wichita Partnership. We invited them to come into town. And quite honestly, the CEO was blown away by the response, not just of business leaders and economic leaders, but the community overall. And they made a decision to come here, and it wasn't on their radar to make that choice. So that's just our effort to raise the profile of Wichita on all levels, not just tourism, but the quality of life, but to businesses. We work with the state who has offices both on East and West Coast for lead generation, and we're seeing a tremendous response of the opportunities in Wichita for the cost of living, the quality of workforce, and then the quality of place.
Can you guys talk about the local businesses? Are you guys trying to support those too, especially after COVID? Are you guys doing some sort of special efforts to try to raise the profile of the local businesses too?
Oh, definitely. We know that 70% of jobs nationwide here in our country of new jobs are coming out of our small business community. From the beginning of last year, I was able to put together a small business advisory council where we've had just new members coming in every 3 to 6 months who are working with the members who have been on that board to talk about what more we can be doing, not just in the pandemic, but also post-pandemic when it comes to investing in our small business community and growing that small business community. For example, like keeping our ears to the ground, we actually have been able, or are very soon able, to deliver on one of the requests from our small business community, and that's a more one-stop shop portal for either filing business paperwork or looking for resources to open businesses. And we're about to, and I don't want to get too ahead of a future press conference, but we're sending that out to a small business community right now to kind of test drive and hopefully make any adjustments, and then of course launch that to at a wider scale in the future. Our open air ICT was also an idea came from our small business community. It was a response to the pandemic, and now has grown into much more than that. We have renewed it for at least 5 more years. So really, we want to do what we can with our multi-layered approach to growing our economy, and that's investing in and helping support our small businesses, bringing in businesses that are Fortune 500 top businesses into Wichita. Like what Scott's talking about is we know Wichita has been one of the best kept secrets as far as being a great community and a type of community that grows, that has that entrepreneurial spirit. But we're kind of letting that secret out. Our goal is to let people know that Wichita is open for business, and as a city, we're ready to partner regardless if that's small business, if that's large business, any way that we can. Thanks, Andrew. Other questions?
I have another one if nobody else has.
I'm so glad you're here, by the way.
Do you guys keep track of the new businesses? I'm curious to see if Hispanic businesses are growing compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And frankly, last year, someone wanted to make a push to have a database so that we would have a place where businesses could sign up so that we can email them or send them information directly when it comes to different opportunities. And also, particularly with COVID, exposed that we were at a disadvantage than other cities who had that database, because they were able to communicate directly with business owners about opportunities for COVID recovery money going into the large and small business communities. Wichita right now, we don't have that. So I really don't have anything internal that I can compare data from this year with new businesses versus last year or the years before to see if there's any trends in particular types of businesses or particular locations of where those businesses are. However, we do have a kind of a, let's say, 10,000-foot view where we can search the Secretary of State's website to look for LLCs, and I believe that working with our partners, the Wichita Chamber, WEBA, some of these other places, we can get a rough idea of what the landscape looks like. But to your immediate question, can I compare right now using internal data, this community versus that community, or if there's any hot spots with growth? At this point, I don't have that information. That's a good idea. Anything else? All right, with that, we thank you guys for being here. I look forward to next week. And of course, if there's any questions or anything that comes up, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to be of service. Thank you.